Alright. Joreuz Rezears. We're just jumping straight into it because Rezears was supposed to have a scrim, but it got cancelled. So we can actually just go straight into this one. Bit of backstory to this one. Oh, I already confirmed his best 5. I've just done it twice. Smart play by me. But okay, backstory to this game. Not that you need any excuse to run a Joreuz versus Rezears 1v1. But Rezears actually requested this particular matchup. I think he's heard me say many times in my stream recently that my top 3 for EU 1v1, and it has been my top 3 for EU 1v1 for quite a while now, is Jack, Joreuz, and Moxie. And I think Rezears, who is, I'm pretty sure is number 4. I would put him number 4 in EU 1v1. I think he's ready to try and get into the top 3 because he wants Joreuz. He's going to try and take him down today and establish himself as a top 3 EU 1s player. I think Joreuz, I'm not sure if this is the case, in case I've missed something on Fear Channel, but I'm pretty sure that Joreuz is the only guy in the big 3 from EU that Rezears has yet to play against. He's played against Jack, he's definitely played against Moxie, and yeah, I think Joreuz is the one guy that he's not had a shot at, so he wants to give it a go, and Joreuz was down for the match, so here we are, Joreuz Rezears. Now, all that being said, I think Joreuz, he's Joreuz. I have to predict him to win. He just is that guy. When he decides that he's good at ones, he's good at ones. When he decides he's going to win, he's going to win. He's just always got that ability. Oh my goodness, oh wait a second. What on earth was this from Rezears? How did he get 2 touches on this? What? Okay, that's a pretty good shot. I don't think anyone's saving that one. Joreuz is, I think, saving the initial touch, but the second touch lobbed it over him. That's insane from Rezears. But yeah, Rezears is the more consistent of the 2 players recently, is what I was going to say. Joreuz has a higher high, but also a lower low, I would say, than Rezears. So if Rezears catches Joreuz on anything but his best day, he's going to win. Joreuz needs to peak. Well, he doesn't need to peak, but he just needs to play his absolute top tier of 1v1. He can't play like he did against Daniel at the RLCS World Championship. Be missing a shot here and there, missing an open net in one game. Well, they only did play one game. He's got to play well. Joreuz is, I think, less consistent than Rezears these days. Another thing that's interesting about Rezears and his recent development is a player. Rezears is a guy who started off as kind of somewhere in the middle between an aerial attacker and a ground-based attacker. He just did it all. He was all about the volume of shots, and ground-based attacks, it tends to, yield more shots per minute than aerial-based attack, but that's not really the Rezears that we see anymore. He's more of an aerial-based attacker that, oh dear, Joreuz missed an open net already. Well, I said that. He's got to not do things like that. Looks like he's going to score anyway. In fact, the ball's just bounced in after the demo. That was the shot, that was the goal. So Joreuz actually with front spin, look at this, he front spins the ball off the post, demos the goalkeeper, and then it bounces into the net. Incredible calculation there from Joreuz, the physicist. Technically not an open net miss anymore. Technically he's not missed any open nets. Yeah, I'm excited to see who can clip on the other more today, because Rezears' clip per minute, clip per game rate has just increased to a crazy amount, and Joreuz, of course, he's almost the original clip per minute guy in ones, or definitely one of them who took the game to the next level. One of the first guys to be consistently scoring double resets in ones years ago, I might add. He's been doing that for a long time. But lesser known fact about Joreuz, even though he's always been very good at this aspect of the game, is that he's very good at the ground game when he doesn't have his pop-off aerial game working. And it's a great thing to fall back on. It's one of the things that makes Joreuz so good at 1v1, is that when he's having a bit of an off day mechanically and he's not feeling it with the flip resets, he's not feeling it with the air dribbles, he just goes for the ground game, and he's very good at that as well. So both these players, Rezears predominantly known for his ground game initially, now really making a name for himself in the air. Joreuz predominantly known for his aerial game, but still world-class ground game. This matchup could go either way. It could just be a stylistic miss, or it could be complete stylistic mismatch with one player preferring one style, the other preferring the other, or it could be two players trying to clip on each other. So far, game one has been predominantly Joreuz. He's decided the majority of the plays here. I think, yeah, one goal for Rezears was off a Joreuz missed ceiling pinch. And despite that fact, Joreuz still leads 4-3 and has the majority of the possession. Although that's not a stat that we can track at the moment in the scoreboard. He's controlling the game. And he's controlled the majority of the plays post-kickoffs as well. And if you've watched the CRR vs Rezears matchup before this and you're frustrated at not seeing more variety in the kickoffs from a player who's getting battered, at least when it comes to kickoffs, then Joreuz is going to be one of your favorite players to watch, because out of anyone at the top tier, I think he, more than anyone these days, likes to completely leave the ball on the diagonal spawn in favor of a half flip. I'm excited to see it. I hope he does it. He always does in all the matches we see him play. Well, that's a very interesting goal. Somehow Joreuz has not pinched this off his post. He tried to just pinch that, I think, clear, but it didn't go anywhere. Rezears able to slot the open net for 4-4. He's going to go up by 1 here, unless Joreuz recovers well, which he does. Rezears still has the corner boost stolen. Joreuz has 1 boost to his name. He's savouring it. There it is. Used. 1 boost flick. Goes high into the bar off Rezears' touch. Joreuz knows that there's a shot on here for Rezears. He has to be careful. Covered his net instead of going for back corner boost. And positionally defends well. Fake ceiling challenge into a real ceiling challenge by Joreuz. He just hung about on the ceiling there long enough for Rezears to come towards him. The boost management from Joreuz is exceptional. Rezears thought about sealing the back corner. Thought better of it after realising Joreuz is threatening a counter-attack. Now, Joreuz is threatening a straight-up attack. It's not going to work. The ball bounces into the ground for overtime game 1. It's been mostly Joreuz's game, but a couple of mistakes have allowed Rezears to get back into it. And now it is Rezears' game through and through. He's got Joreuz in a terrible position. Just 1 boost pad to his name used for a big clear which bounces just past the halfway line. Still Rezears with the possession. He's given it straight to Joreuz there, who intercepts effectively. Joreuz got to be careful. He doesn't want to set up Rezears here. It's exactly what he's done. 1 reset. Top corner shot. Not even needed. Rezears dumps it in the middle. The pace was sufficient. After the reset landed, Joreuz knew what was coming towards him. He covered the wrong aspect of the goal. I think he moved off his goal line a bit too much there to try and close the distance, when really he should just be trying to get onto his goal line and block as much as he can. Fantastic execution by Rezears. He was given 1 big look in overtime and he took it first try. But what do you guys think? If Rezears beats Joreuz, is he top 3? What do you reckon? I think depending on the scoreline, he could be. I think if it's an overtime game 5 win for Rezears, it's a discussion. I think if he 3-0s Joreuz or 3-1s him, yeah, I think he's top 3. But I think it depends on the scoreline. Personally, I think it does matter. The look of the 1v1, because that game 1 was very, very close. That was a very close game 1. We'll have to wait and see though. He's got what it takes to beat Joreuz. He has the tools. I mean, so far this game has played out pretty much according to the tail of the tape, as they say about these players. Rezears being more consistent across the board, but Joreuz having, I think, the majority of the control in that game, but also the bigger mistakes, which did go punished. But yeah, Rezears with a flip reset in overtime is pretty emphatic. Also, he had a big top corner flick that'll have Joreuz worried. Speaking of, there's one for Joreuz as well. Oh, Rezears is a bit awkward in that position. He just couldn't get comfortable. I think at some point there he just had to go for the ball. Had plenty of boost to recover after a 50. Josh Rubino, thanks to the Prime, and also Shot Bean, thanks to the 5-month Prime. Linder, thanks for 56-month Tier 1. A decent shot from Rezears, just not quite enough on it to force Joreuz to concede the back corner boost while saving the shot. Joreuz will wish that he anticipated the miss on the boost there from Rezears. He would have had it, but he did pick up a very poor clear from Rezears. He tried to get it over Joreuz and failed. Now down 2-0. There's Joreuz half flip onto the boost. Rezears does not counter it. This is not a counter strategy. I've talked about this pretty much every time that I've seen this play. Joreuz has kind of failed to capitalize on a little mistake there from Rezears. He could have saved that in such a way as to take control of the ball, but he did end up giving it back to Rezears. But for anyone who's new to seeing that strategy, you're thinking, what on earth is that from Joreuz? Why is he just half flipping instead of going for the ball? Did he forget he's playing 1v1? Well, the answer is no, he didn't forget. It's a very legit strategy. The only counter, the only hard counter to your opponent half flipping onto the boost in ones is to quickly get around the ball, hit it into your back corner, and then as quickly as you can get into said back corner, grab the boost, turn around, and start dribbling at them before you get demoed. It's a very, very precise sequence of moves and very precise sequence of touches that all need to be pretty much perfect in order for you to hard counter that half flip on the kickoff. It used to be a strategy that wasn't really viable because players weren't good enough at half flipping to quickly get into position to pressure the ball after half flipping onto the boost. But these days players are half flipping every single time consistently, or they should be, that they can actually pressure the ball and decide whether or not they want to rush a challenge or if they want to fake a challenge. And yeah, you're usually going to see players who are 100 boost with ball pressure come out on top of somebody who's got 20 or sometimes even 12 boost and possession. I'm sure we'll see more of that from Joreuz. It did. I would say it worked first time there, so I expect to see him try it again. Oh, wow. Oh, Joreuz launches a flick into the bar. He's really rolling in this game. Rezears needs to answer, and Rezears does answer! He won game 1 with a flip reset. Now he's opened the scoring for himself in game 2 with a flip reset as well. Took a long time. That was an absolute monster from Rezears. Joreuz with a big run up and a big mind game. He's got Rezears all over the place here. Rezears almost got back to it, but the mind game from Joreuz was wicked enough to have him completely out of the game. All about the fake run up into the shot there from Joreuz. He opens up an angle, fakes a big hook shot or a bounce shot, and Rezears had to respect it. He had to dive in the way. It's a very interesting fake challenge there from Joreuz. Fakes a challenge, trips up Rezears, and then runs the ball into the open net. This is brilliant from Joreuz. He had Rezears on, I think, a good set of moves there. He knew that Rezears, at the pace that he was moving at, would not be able to launch the ball too quickly, and from that range, the fake challenge makes sense. Some great stuff there from Joreuz, but to know that he can then turn around and trip up his opponent who's just flicked the ball, that just shows the 1v1 IQ of Joreuz that he always has, and always will have, I imagine. Lean back reset from Joe. Rezears all over it. It's a decent first touch. He's had to use a lot of boost to get back to this, but Rezears threatening the flip reset once again. Decided not to flip into the ball. Joreuz with an equally heavy first touch here. Tries for the corner read and actually lands it, but Rezears is there for it. Great respect there from Rezears to know that Joreuz is capable of corner rebounds in ones. There's a half flip again from Joreuz. Looks like he's more comfortable doing it from this side, and again Rezears does not counter it. The pinch was open. Joreuz hits the bar with it. So, you know, Rezears 2 times out of 2 now has not read Joreuz playing that kickoff. He's got a goal in the aftermath. Perfect air dribble bump, but, you know, 2 for 2 now. Rezears is not spotting the half flip kickoff quickly enough to get around the ball and dribble it into his own back corner. Now, if he's paying attention, he'll have noticed that Joreuz has done it 2 times when Joreuz spawns on the right-hand side diagonal. So, next time there's a right-hand side diagonal, Rezears should be preparing himself for the half flip kickoff of Joreuz, and he should try and quickly get around the ball, maintain his momentum, and try and dribble it into his back corner. I love that little touch from Joreuz there to just hit the ball into the bar. He knew that he wasn't scoring that. He knew that it was impossible to get a rebound, but he also knew that if he lets the ball bounce flush off the bar that he's going to get scored on, which is what's happening here after a bit of a careless move there from Joreuz. Did not get himself to safety. Knocked the ball into a relatively safe location, but his car, not so much. Only a 1 goal difference now. Rezears is able to equalize late in game 1 and take it in OT. Can he do the same thing here? Joreuz in a very strong position. Will he play off the wall here? Yes, he will. Rezears up quickly. Joreuz spotted him though. This is still a great bounce for Rezears. It's something Joreuz can work with though. Early challenge leaves the net wide open. Joreuz is going to walk it in. Brilliant early challenge there from Joreuz. Rezears was ready to make a full pitch air dribble. He's ready to go for another flip reset or a bump close to Joreuz's goal. Joreuz not interested in having to defend against that. Just dives straight in and wins game 2 on his own terms. It looks like, thought he might try an own goal with a double tap there, but it was a bit too high for him. So far, the battle for top 3 EU delivers. Similarly to game number 1, Joreuz, he looks like the player in control of the majority of the plays here. He looks like the guy who's going to decide who's going to win today. It's either going to be Joreuz playing well and winning, or Joreuz making mistakes and losing. At least that's what's happened so far. The majority of the outplays have belonged to Joreuz, but Rezears has not been without outplays of his own. He's had a very consistent flick to work with. He's had a very consistent flip reset to work with. In fact, I'd say that the reason Rezears looks second best in this matchup is not about execution in the final third. It's not about the kickoff game. It's all about ability to get into the midfield and control the ball. Now this is the kickoff Joreuz half flipped on, and he does it again. Does Rezears spot it? No, he doesn't. So again, he concedes possession. I don't know if Rezears is confident with the counter strategy here, because that's 3 times that we've not seen him do it there. And I've said it many times when players are on the field playing this strat. Oh, what a shot from Joreuz. Sniping the bottom corner with a ceiling shot. Disgusting. The best player to watch for the counter strat is Dead Monster. He's the guy who has countered the half flip kickoff the most consistently. In fact, he's the only player that I've seen convince his opponent that the half flip kickoff is not worth going for, because every single time he just gets around the ball quickly, dribbles it to his back corner, and then says, well, okay, you've got 100 boost, I've got 100 boost and the ball. So what? Wow. Well, Rezears answers a worldie from Joreuz with a worldie of his own. What a finish. Had to kind of pre-flip underneath the ball there. Clipped it with the back end of the car. And that's impossible to read. Joreuz knew that he had a reset, but he didn't know the shot was going to go top corner from a position like that. Certainly not at the near post. That's why I'm saying that. You know, Rezears has not lacked his own big moments in offense. He's definitely had plenty of those. Joreuz has broken the morale of many an opponent by styling on them to the point that they feel they don't belong in the lobby with him, but that's not been the problem for Rezears. Rezears has kind of just struggled to keep up with Joreuz's tricks in the midfield and Joreuz's control in the midfield. The fake challenges are working very well for Joreuz. The 50-50 game has been as consistent as ever. What can Rezears do to get Joreuz out of this zone that he's in right now, where he's just got the ball and he refuses to give it back? It's like he's in free play and you're just there watching him. Joreuz with a back corner boost grab. Now the net is available for him. Late reset. Somehow saved by Rezears, but Joreuz recovers and again takes the ball away. So it's more just driving around the pitch without the ball for Rezears as Joreuz flies around the pitch with it. Another attack fizzles, but does that stop Joreuz influencing the play? Well, this time it does. Rezears beats him back to it. Joreuz apologizes. I'm not sure what for. Maybe apologizing to himself there for getting a bad 50-50. It looked like he was just in the zone there, just carrying the ball around the field and not giving his opponent a chance to play. But Rezears dunked on him big time and confidently slotted. He's had the finishing touches, that's without a doubt. Rezears clinical as ever. What a takeoff from Joreuz. Air dribble into the bar and in. He didn't even need the rebound. And that's all in the first touch here. Joreuz just lifts the ball beautifully into the air. Then after a vertical takeoff. He transitions into horizontal movement. He's messed up that kickoff. Joreuz missed the boost, dodged the wrong way, and Rezears back in front. So for all his control and for all his possession, Joreuz is trailing. So we're back onto the same kickoff. Joreuz half flipped every time. Now he doesn't. He actually just goes for the ball. Rezears doesn't have to figure out the half flip kickoff there. Oh, the net's open. Where's Joreuz going? That's a huge mistake. I am not sure what possessed Joreuz to play that boost steal. He must have thought that Rezears couldn't see him. That made no sense at all. Suddenly a 2-goal lead. So it's like I mentioned, seems like this game will be just won or lost on Joreuz terms, but if Rezears wins it, he won't care really how the win happened. Not going to get back to that one though. Joreuz lifts the ball in for his third. Need to see this again. Yeah, Joreuz just saw the challenge coming. Nice little double jump pop there from Joreuz. Didn't get his car past Rezears, but with the pace that he had on the ball, it didn't matter. Aerial shot from Joreuz is good. Rezears might not have been ready for that one. He was probably expecting Joreuz to play for the back corner boost here. Oh, that's a great shot. Yeah, Rezears just missed the 12 pad. He was trying to get 12 boosts and then save this. But with how clinical Rezears has been, Joreuz cannot afford to make mistakes. He cannot afford to run into corners for boosts that really are not his to be taken. He has to respect Rezears' speed. He has to respect Rezears at all times. Masterful 50 there from Rezears to control his back corner boost, prevent Joreuz from sealing it. But Joreuz spots the early challenge, gets around him, and scores his 5th goal. He's just been relentless this game. 12 shots for Joreuz, only 5 for Rezears. It seems like most of Rezears' offensive plays are stopped short of a shot getting fired, as Joreuz having a much better time putting shots on target and keeping Rezears under pressure. Here's another one, but Rezears does well there, at least to save it. He's not going to be too happy about what happens next though. Joreuz is going to slow roll him. Takes the ball like taking candy from a baby there. Rezears with no boost, or definitely not enough boost, no momentum. Just did not know what to do. If he flips into the ball there, he's conceding possession, and Rezears desperately wants possession. And he's just not getting enough of it, as that half flip kickoff works once again for Joreuz. I think the only times this kickoff hasn't worked is when he's messed up after the kickoff goes in his favor. But initially at least, it's gone in his favor every single time. Rezears is struggling to get any aspect of his game going at the moment. It's Joreuz, wow, he's really surprised Rezears there. Pre-flips under the ball to shoot from an impossible angle. Rezears was watching closely what was happening here. He did not expect Joreuz to be shooting from a position like that. That is brilliant. Rezears saved the initial shot, but not well enough. It bounced off both posts and hung around in the middle of the goal. Finally, a possession play for Rezears. He has to do something with this. These have been few and far between. Unfortunately for him, he has lost possession almost immediately. No shot fired. Joreuz pinches into the ceiling, quickly moves back around, and more time is gone from the clock. Oh, that's a good shot from Rezears, but Joreuz is there for it. He's got the boost starve going, does the German. Can he get a shot into the net before it's too late? I think he almost has to score with this one. Joreuz is floating in the air. It's a fake challenge though. Rezears bites on it, but great little touch off the post. Keeps the ball alive on the goal line. Rezears almost went too far wide with this one. And he kept it alive. Lovely control in front of the net. It's been an extremely frustrating game for Rezears, but it is winnable. He's got to keep reminding himself that. Will Joreuz give him another look at it though? Will he get another chance? Rezears tries to pre-flip to outplay. Joreuz not having any of it. Joreuz now cuts off the mid-boost grab and starts to starve Rezears of possession once again. Rezears somewhat trips Joreuz off the play there though. Has to double touch in defense just to keep Joreuz from scoring though. It's non-stop. Joreuz ball pressure has just been so consistent in this game. His ball control likewise. Rezears has not had a look. And a frustrating game 3 does end in a loss for the German. Joreuz is not interested in conceding his top 3 EU status just yet. It almost seems inevitable, doesn't it? Every time Joreuz has the ball, it almost just seems like the only way someone's going to get it off him is if he makes a mistake. When he's able to play without mistakes, it doesn't look like he could be dispossessed. At least not by the style Rezears is using. You've got to be tricky. You've got to surprise him with angles that he's not anticipating. You've got to surprise him with 50-50s that he's not able to read immediately. Now, can Rezears do that? Remains to be seen. A reasonable start for game number 4. What a touch from Joreuz. Straight away, air dribbling across the box, wasting a little bit of Rezears' boost, and taking 100 at the far side. Rezears shoots early, and that's going to be good. 1-0. Joreuz thought he was goal side, but Rezears managed to get enough lift on the ball here, just enough height, to get it over the top of Joreuz. No possible save from the Dutchman. Oh well, that's interesting. Joreuz doesn't half flip on the diagonal spawn. He just jumps on the spot this time. Rezears has fallen on the post, and that's a bit of a tilter. He's given away possession after a bit of an awkward landing. He thought all four wheels were on the ground there. He was attempting to jump, but he dodged on the spot. Joreuz with a very easy second goal there. You've got to make him work a bit harder than that. Oh, sorry, has the title been wrong this entire time? That's my bad. Yeah, Nightbot's not allowing the mods to change the title here, and I'm too stupid to realise. But if you refresh, it will now say the correct title. Justin is the Roger Federer of Rocket League? How? I know Justin's an unbelievable Rocket League player and Roger Federer is an unbelievable tennis player, but they really don't have too many similarities in their careers, I would say. We need to wait until there's another, like, who are the big 3? Who are the big 3 in Rocket League? That's your Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, Novak Djokovic, obviously. That would be the big 3. I think no one can deny that K-Dop and Turbo are part of the big 3. The third one is the problem. We don't. There isn't really a big 3. There's no Roger Federer in Rocket League. You need a big 3. There isn't one. K-Dot, Turbo, Garrett, but there's not enough titles. Not enough titles. You would need 3 players to just have way more titles than everyone else, and that's just not the case. We've got 2 players with more titles. Love that from Rezears. Simply does it. He didn't want to give Joreuz a 50 there. Joreuz has controlled a lot of the engagements. I think Rezears is going to try and avoid those 50s. If he can. It's not that he's bad at them, it's just Joreuz usually has perfect recoveries, and if he can have any kind of influence of which way the ball's going to bounce, then he's going to be first to it, and who knows when you're going to next hit a touch on the ball. Joreuz with the mind game, Joreuz with the goal. Rezears unable to read exactly what his opponent was up to on this one. Fake to take off, and it really didn't do much. There's a half flip again from Joreuz, and again Rezears struggles to get the perfect counter. It's such a tricky counter strategy. You need to almost predict that it's coming. But you know, Rezears, if you're not sure, I'm sure he knows the counter. I'm sure he knows what he's supposed to be doing, but just in case he doesn't, you've got to like take a wider line around the ball. I'm sure he's going to watch this later. You might be surprised to know, some of you might be surprised to know, that a lot of professional Rocket League players don't really watch a lot of Rocket League. Because if you've got so much Rocket League as part of your day from gameplay, then you don't really want to be filling up the rest of your day with watching Rocket League as well. So a lot of pros will just never watch RLCS, will never watch Rocket League, try and take a break from it so that they don't burn out from gameplay and scrims and practice in the middle of their career. But that's the benefit that we've got as viewers, is we can watch all of the 1v1s and we can see who's got the best counter strategy for particular ideas and particular positions. Oh dear, well Rezears is going to feel pretty silly here. I don't think Joreuz has even tried to fake him in the second time around, but It worked wonderfully. Rezears expecting a shot. Joreuz just didn't want to give him a 50 more than anything else. He was trying not to hit the ball into Rezears, who had a bunch of momentum and no boost. Joreuz, okay, well, I think that shows you why he's not been doing the half flip strategy on this kickoff. He looked a bit messy on that half flip, if you ask me. It has worked out though, because Rezears has got no counter for this. He just doesn't have the counter strategy figured out. But that half flip did not look too clean from Joreuz. He didn't look as confident as his half flip on the other side. And you do need a perfect half flip, I might add, if you're going to make that work. Anything but a perfect half flip will leave your bottom corner open for a direct shot. So if Rezears, again, if he's paying attention to the cleanliness of Joreuz's half flip there, you'll know that if Joreuz is half flipping after spawning on the left side diagonal, he can just shoot at the bottom corner and it's a goal. I don't know if you'll have noticed that. It's very, very hard to see when you're playing. Because we can watch Joreuz's POV. Rezears is just seeing a nameplate behind the ball. And sometimes not even a full nameplate, just part of it. Perfect flick from Rezears ties game 4. It really is about Rezears figuring out how to counter this kickoff. It's been a big, big part of this game. Joreuz is benefiting from ball control and boost control, so if Rezears can stop him from getting both on that diagonal spawn, then he will be in a much more favourable position to win this game. That's a huge read from Rezears. Can he transition into an open net? The air roll is not good for one, but it's good for a setup, and he will lead with just over a minute left in the clock. Right, Rezears, wide line. You've got to go wide to the right here. If Joreuz doesn't go, okay, Joreuz does go, so we don't even get to see. I really want to see Rezears counter it once today, so we can have that payoff. I know a lot of you guys have seen it before, and you're thinking, why do you care? But I'm always thinking, there's probably a new viewer in here who's not seen the counter firsthand. They want to see what it looks like, so I'd love to see Rezears take that wider line on the kickoff and just loop around it and then take the ball for himself. Well, he might not see it, because Rezears has had plenty of attempts at it, and he hasn't done it yet. That's a devastating demo for Joreuz. Rezears tried to get the save after spawning, but he just couldn't get there. Early jump from Rezears onto the wall, didn't time it perfectly. Yeah, no half flip on that side from Joreuz. I don't think he's going to go for that side again. Well, actually, maybe he will after conceding a kickoff goal. Rezears back in front. We might be going to game 5. It's been a much better midfield battle from Rezears' perspective in this game. Joreuz with the boost. Not yet with the ball after the kickoff. Rezears fighting for it. Again, he lets his guard down and he gets demoed. This time, does not concede immediately. Joreuz to the ceiling. Flip is intact. It's used early, and the dunk lands. Rezears unable to deflect the ball into the back corner. Concedes with just over 20 left on the clock. You'll be pretty upset about that one. A 50-50 would have been a good outcome, but he only got the one touch on it. And now here comes Joreuz again. Both players want the boost. Rezears has to play the ball instead. Now the boost is his, but Joreuz has got that shot ready. He tried to pinch it off the ground. He's missed completely. Rezears with an open net that he surely did not expect. Well, what has Joreuz tried to do here? That is a very speculative effort, if you ask me. And he does not get the diagonal spawn to mess with Rezears on the kickoff. This looks like the German can just win relatively easily. Yes, he can. He just fakes a shot and wins game 4. Well, that was a bit of a weird one. But it's Joreuz who's his own worst enemy once again. Why did he try such a technical shot? Which, honestly, I don't think it was going to go in the majority of the time anyway. Like, if you're going to try something highly technical like that, when the score's 7-all, at least do it when your opponent's boost starved. Rezears had 100 boosts, so I really can't imagine a world where that was the best play in the position for Joreuz. You know, he's got another game ready. He's got 2 match points. Fair enough, but I do not think that was the play for Joreuz. He had boost, he had the ball, he had not much time left on the clock. I think you just take a normal shot there and then see what Rezears does with it. Or maybe play for the sidewall and a flip reset, but definitely not the ground pinch from a bouncing ball. That doesn't make any sense at all. Any kind of miss and you've just lost the game. Would have been beautiful though. I will give him that. You know, there is the upside of a massive clip for Reddit to enjoy later on today. But unfortunately for Joreuz, he'll have to wait a bit longer to get his clip to win the series, if that's how we're going to end things today. You know what, he actually tried a tight angle double tap there. He didn't have to. But Joreuz starts game 5 the same way they ended game 4. Unnecessarily all in. You know, did he need to do that? No, the boost was available to be stolen. He could have played for the more controlled offensive style, the consistent offensive style, which had him dominating game 3, but instead, he's just gone completely all in, and it has not paid off. I don't think that's how Joreuz beats Rezears today. I don't think he beats him by taking risks. I don't think he beats him by putting himself in precarious positions. I think the way that he beats him is by just controlling the game like he did in game 3, but that has just completely gone out the window, and now Rezears is in control. Lovely bump, perfect mind game, and a 2-0 lead. Seabrunk4444, thanks to the brand new Prime. Also Magic, thanks for 68-month tier 1. And Josh Urbino, thanks to the brand new Prime as well. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully you're enjoying the game 5s. Only game 5s in today's matchups. Suddenly in a matchup where it looked like Joreuz was in full control. He had so much possession. He had so many opportunities. Now Rezears is dominating. Joreuz goes all in again, and he misses again. And unlike earlier in the series, his recovery is nowhere to be seen. He's got no boost after taking that shot. He's got no way back to the play if it doesn't work. He has completely fallen apart here. Joreuz had the full answer to Rezears earlier on today. He was putting up threatening shots with recoveries to back them up. He was putting threatening shots on target, such as this one, with midfield play after the fact. But now, he's gone all in a few times, and it really has not worked out. Lean back reset from Rezears. Joreuz on the breakaway, manages to stay away from the recovery demo. And he will get his first goal of the game. Rezears wasn't too far off getting a 50-50 there. I think that's probably what he wanted. I think Rezears will be delighted that Joreuz seems to have stopped with the half-flip kickoffs, which he could not figure out at all. Well, Joreuz is just floating here. I think Rezears might have just lifted that over the bar, though. I'm not sure if it was bouncing in, but that was bizarre from both players. Joreuz with the floaty defense, which didn't look like it was about to make contact, and then Rezears just popped the ball into the crossbar. You know, whether or not the ball was on target, that play made no sense, because clearly it set up a counter-attack for Joreuz. Even if he thought Joreuz was going to make a save on that one. You know, he's got to be playing for the boost steal in the corner, not a backboard play. But if this game is going to get into kind of this awkward little back and forth, I think it probably favors Joreuz. I think he's going to be the one who thrives in these chaotic positions, these positions that don't really make sense, because that's when his natural ability, his recoveries start to come into their own. And his just innate ability to figure things out on the fly. He really does improvise at a very high level in 1v1 and in Rocket League in general. Rezears, more of a robotic player who just plays the best play in the position, unless, of course, the best play would be scoring that open net. I think it was on. Bit of a shambol at game 5. A weird one. Definitely. Joreuz ties it with a controlled reset. But where has this gone wrong for Rezears? He had a comfortable lead and then he's really just fallen apart. Joreuz did not peak to get the capitulation from his opponent. Key bump there from Rezears, taking the mid boost away from Joreuz. Can he back it up with a strong aerial play? Well, he's got the ball past Joreuz, but it's into the bar again, and once again it's into his net on the counter. Joreuz covered most of the goal, and Rezears did not snipe the top shelf. The fact that that ball has hit the crossbar flush is not ideal for Rezears, in fact far from it. Even a downward bounce would have been favourable. His accuracy was way off. Joreuz with a very strong ceiling challenge. Rezears quickly back to the ball. Joreuz threatening the demo though. And now just playing the ball to his own back wall. He doesn't get the clear though, and Rezears is there to finish it. 4-4. There's a bit of a tough play there from Joreuz. He's trying to pinch the ball as it lands on his back wall. He read the downward bounce, but he didn't predict the exact position the ball was going to be in. And he kind of landed on it instead of landing beside it. Still, those half-flip kickoffs have been a non-factor in Game 5. I expect to see Joreuz whip it out late in the game. For now, there's a very even back and forth when it comes to kickoff strategies. Joreuz with possession. He slaps it into the bar. Rezears threatening a double tap from range. That wasn't a bad effort. In fact, it's led to Joreuz having to leave his back corner boost and play for the one on the far side. Rezears hunting for the back wall demo. He's got it. Is the shot on? Oh, it is. Well played, Rezears. He went way up onto the back wall here for that demo. Joreuz played an evasive line, but still got clipped. And Rezears will lead with a minute left in the game. Still no half-flip kickoff for Joreuz. Where has his confidence with that strategy gone? Rezears builds enough of speed for the demo. And even though Joreuz had a boost advantage, it counts for nothing. Now Rezears in control. His flick does nothing though. Joreuz right back in on the action. Setting up the aerial play from Rezears' corner wall. Shut down early by Rezears, but Joreuz still with the slight advantage in this midfield play. He's got the boost. Rezears had to bail on the action all the way into his back corner. Joreuz gets the fast dribble started. He's a bit linear with it though, and he's not able to follow it up with a boost steal or with a demo. Rezears still falling to the low boost and has to vacate the area once again. Less than 20 seconds remaining. Joreuz builds up pace. The shot is threatened, but it is not good enough. Rezears back to the ball. Joreuz still pressuring like nothing else. He's not hit the target though. Rezears is surviving for now. Joreuz with the mind game in the near post. Rezears reads it, blocks it, and I think he's done enough. Can he get this into the ground? He's got no boost to play with, but he gets the win. Rezears survives and beats Joreuz in 5. Now, I asked earlier on in the series, would a Game 5 win in close fashion be enough to put Rezears into the top 3 EU? Undecided. Well, you guys can decide for yourselves. I'll have to think about it. That was a brilliant matchup, but it went pretty much as I expected. Rezears, more consistent of the two players. He had nerves in Game 5, certainly, but he did enough. He dug out a win in a very tough match, and I think he's attributing most of the mistakes to Monday. I don't blame him.